I believe I can confidently say that the NBA guaranteed contract system has allowed players like Kawhi, Ben Simmons, and even Zion Williamson to almost ruin key NBA franchises. And to be very honest, I don't believe these players want to totally abandon their teams. But what motivation do you really have to play through injury when you already got your bag? I honestly feel like mental health plays a huge part in this as well. The mindset needed in order to press through injury in order to help your team requires mental fortitude. Like the satisfaction of knowing that you're guaranteed millions of dollars regardless of the outcome of this season allows a player to mentally choose to give up when injuries are just a part of playing a sport. That's one of the reasons why an old team like the Lakers were able to win the NBA playoffs after having months off to recover. This trend around Kawhi Leonard, Ben Simmons, and Zion Williamson tells me one thing: the NBA has a problem. Mind you, I don't believe Kawhi is worse than Ben Simmons, who's basically holding the Nets hostage while stealing the bag. But what Kawhi did this past NBA season was disrespectful. Heck, can anyone honestly say that what we witnessed this year with Kawhi Leonard wasn't downright infuriating? Leonard was quite frankly the best player on the floor when he played in this year's NBA playoffs. After a number of games, he chose to sit out, causing his team to have to carry the load. Mind you, the entire season the team has been load managing his games and accommodating Kawhi's health. And don't believe this hype about an injury. Leonard, who has 2 more years left on his contract, could have played in those 2 NBA games. His history proves that unless he is at 100%, he is going to choose not to play. Mind you, Kawhi Leonard signed a 4-year, $176 million contract with the Clippers, including $176 million guaranteed and an average salary of $44 million. A fully guaranteed contract means that an NBA team is obligated to pay the player a predetermined amount regardless of their performance or injury status. In addition, teams are barred from reducing or terminating the contract without cause, which means that as long as I play long enough to get a contract, then you must pay me my money, aka Ben Simmons and Kawhi Leonard. But imagine what would happen if you were forced to meet certain requirements in order to actually get paid. And I am not even arguing against anything major other than just play the game to the best of your ability. Clippers general manager Lawrence Frank revealing that the organization has to place greater emphasis on the regular season. He stated that we have to be honest with ourselves, says Lawrence Frank, per Tomer Azerly of the Clutch Points. We have to look in the mirror. It starts with me. We have to get back to honoring and respecting the regular season. Regular season matters, Frank continues. Not that our guys don't think it matters. I think all of us, starting with me, we can compete harder every single day. We can hold each other accountable every day. Frank is speaking directly to the mindset problem within the Clippers organization. This mindset problem stems from a lack of leadership from Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. And truthfully, it comes from this NBA contract. Heck, Paul George said something profound on a podcast, which I was surprised even came out of his mouth. He said teams don't really practice.
We sitting here, I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice.
You know, we're not getting up and down. They think by giving us time off, it's helping manage our bodies, but it's really making us weaker as players. The guaranteed contract system is the problem, but it's a direct result of the NBA attempting to be competitive. But I believe the time has come to slowly change this culture, which I don't believe will get better unless something takes place. So how did this happen around the NBA contract system? You have to go back in history and take a look at 2 pivotal contracts. Moses Malone's contract, and the second was Larry Bird's renegotiated contract. Celtics Larry Bird said, okay, I looked at Moses Malone contract and noticed that he had a base salary of X. He got a bonus if he got Y. If he became MVP, he got a bonus. If they won the world championship, he got a bonus if he sold a certain amount of apparel. Larry Bird's agent Bob Wolf came back and said, we want the same money as Moses Malone, but we don't want any incentives tied to it. So Larry Bird's contract in basketball became the first contract where it was fully guaranteed. Imagine if the NBA and the managers just stuck to their guns and said no. So from that point forward, every major free agent had their contract structured like Larry Bird's contract. And that's how they got guaranteed contracts in NBA. Not by their CBA, but by custom. Bird and his agent may have done it to match the contract of Moses Malone, but it ended up changing the future of contract negotiations for NBA players. Before then, players had to meet certain requirements in order more to actually get paid. But NBA players in this day and age are built different.
What's up, bro? How you been? Bro, I'm good. People complain about shit these days, but I'm built different.
And as a result, not many players press through, and rarely will you see a star player play over 65 games. Michael Jordan would never just knowingly sit out of an NBA game, and that competitiveness permeated the culture of the Bulls organization. This is why I believe that a player like Michael Jordan is having so much difficulty as an owner. Jordan's formula for success doesn't translate in today's game, where stars lead the league. Truthfully, the NBA product has grown year over year, with teams now being worth billions of dollars. So there's no real incentive for players and teams to change. Honestly, the only way to send the message to the NBA and to the players is by voting with our wallets. That means fans must now demand that players who they pay to see actually play in their games, or they will not pay for the product. Period. Honestly, I believe that as long as players play a modicum of their games and the NBA works to address players like Ben Simmons and Kawhi Leonard, then this issue won't rise to the level that fans choose not to attend. But I stress that a message needs to be sent to Kawhi, and that it's unacceptable not to play.